ready to dive into some Teqball.
Oh, I was right.
We're looking at the FightQ World Ranking System, right?
Yeah, big shakeup after those World Championships in Vietnam.
Exactly. It's like the whole landscape shifted. You ready to break it all down?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So we've got this great article, WR, the World Teqball Championships 2024, rearranged the latest FightQ World Ranking. And, well, let's just jump right in, huh?
Sounds good.
Okay, so first off, Thailand just completely dominated the World Championships. I mean, they won all the doubles categories, men's, women's, mixed double. Like, how is that even possible?
Well, they've been focusing on their doubles teams.
Ah, makes sense.
And it's really paying off.
It shows.
Yeah, and the women's doubles pair, Sufawati Wongkam-chan and Jutatip Kuntatong.
Oh, yeah, they're incredible.
They're, like, undefeated for the past 2 years.
2 years? No way.
Yeah, they anticipate each other's moves. It's unreal.
That's insane. And speaking of Jutatip Kuntatong, she's like leading both women's singles and doubles.
She's a powerhouse. To be at the top of TWO categories, that's something else.
You rarely see that. It's incredible.
It really is.
Right. But it wasn't just Thailand. Romania's Apor Yorgidik, he finished the year undefeated in men's singles.
Yeah, and he secured his second world championship title in Vietnam. The guy's a machine.
Back to back. That's got to take so much dedication.
Absolutely. Consistency like that, it's amazing.
And then, of course, we have to talk about Nicola Mitro. 3 medals, 3 different categories in the World Championships.
It's wild.
Has anyone else ever done that?
He's only the second athlete ever to pull that off.
That's putting him in some pretty elite company.
For sure.
Oh, and remember India winning that bronze medal in men's doubles?
Declan Gonsalves and Anis Beg.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Huge for India.
Historic win.
It pushed them, like, straight into the top 50 rankings, right? Straight into the top 50. I think that win is going to inspire so many people in India to start playing Teqball.
That's awesome. Okay, so we've seen some amazing individual and team performances. But how about we dive into this new world ranking system itself?
Okay, yeah.
So I've heard it's supposed to be more inclusive than the old one?
It is, yeah. It's a big change. Now players earn points for like all levels of events, even, domestic tournaments.
Oh, wow. So not just those big international tournaments anymore.
Exactly. It gives everyone a chance to, climb the ranks no matter where they're playing.
Ah, I like that. Everyone gets a shot. So these January rankings, they include what? The World Championships and the Paris Teqball Cup results.
Yeah, and it's important to remember that with this new system, they're not actually subtracting any points yet. So some players, they're still holding on to points from, previous events.
Oh, interesting. So it's kind of like a snapshot of the current landscape, but with a little bit of the past mixed in. Did we see any, major ranking jumps after the World Championships?
Oh, yeah. Huge jumps. Daria Zelenska, she climbed 40 positions in the women's singles rankings.
40? No way.
Yeah. It really goes to show how, one major event can just completely change your whole trajectory. And then we've got this new limitations system.
Limitations system? I'm not sure I've heard of that. What's that all about?
Basically, it prevents players from stacking their teams with all the top-ranked athletes in certain events. Helps to keep things balanced.
Right. So it's about making sure everyone has a fair chance to compete.
Exactly, leveling the playing field.
Love it. So who are some players who are really benefiting from this new system? Anyone come to mind?
Well, Nilson Fernando Castaneda Vargas and Matthias Landon Jeppesen, their rankings have seen a big improvement thanks to those limitations.
Awesome. Sounds like this whole new ranking system is really shaking things up, giving a lot more opportunities for players to rise to the top.
It's definitely making things more interesting. Yeah, it's really cool to see how these rankings tell the story of each player,
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean?
It's not just numbers, right? It shows all the work they've put in, the challenges they've overcome to get to where they are.
Yeah, I get that. Makes those numbers a lot more meaningful.
Totally. Like Daria Zelenska, remember her? We talked about her big jump, 40 places.
Yeah, 40 places, crazy.
She wasn't even a favorite going into the World Championships, but she really proved herself.
What was it about her playing that stood out?
She was just so determined. You could see at every point she was fighting for it. And her strategy, it was really smart. She was anticipating her opponent's moves, which is so important in Teqball.
It really shows how one tournament can completely change things.
It can. And not just in singles. The men's doubles champs from Thailand, Jarati Shanliang and Sorosark Thausiri, they just broke into the top 10.
Wow.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they kept climbing.
They're on a roll. Makes you wonder if other countries are going to, like, copy their training methods, you know? Try to catch up. That's a good point. I'm sure everyone's watching them closely.
Yeah, for sure. And we can't forget about Declan Gonsalves and Anis Beg from India.
Right. That bronze medal was huge.
Huge. Historic win for India.
Totally. I mean, they're national heroes now. And I think it's going to have a huge impact on Teqball in India, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really inspiring to see, you know, the power of sport to bring people together, to inspire a whole new generation of athletes.
It is, and that's what makes following these rankings so interesting, right? It's not just about like, who's number one. It's about the individual stories, the dedication, the passion.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so with all these changes, all this excitement, what are you thinking? What's the future of Teqball going to look like?
Well, that's the big question, right? I mean, there are so many talented players out there. The competition it's fierce. And this new ranking system, it just adds another layer of like complexity to it all. It really could be anyone's game. We could see some big upsets, you know, some unexpected wins.
Sounds like it's going to be a pretty exciting season.
I think so.
I mean, Teqball has come a long way.
It really has.
It's gone from like a relatively unknown sport to this global phenomenon. Millions of fans stacked.
It's amazing.
A sophisticated ranking system.
Yeah. The momentum is definitely building. The future's looking bright for Teqball.
Yeah. It's been really cool to dive into these rankings with you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Really get a sense of the stories behind the numbers.
For sure.
What would you say, like, what stands out to you the most? Like, the biggest takeaway from all of this?
I think it's how dynamic everything is right now. Like there's a real shift happening. New players are coming up, challenging the old guard.
Mm-hmm.
And in new ranking system, it's a big part of that.
Yeah.
It's opening up the competition, giving opportunities to players all over the world to make their mark.
Feels like we're seeing a real turning point for Teqball, huh?
I think so, yeah.
It's pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
Like, where is Teqball even gonna go from here?
I know, it's exciting. It really feels like we're at this crossroads. You know, all these changes in the rankings. It's not just about who's on top right now. It's like a sneak peek into the future of the sport.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. What do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. We have all these new players coming up, challenging the top players.
Right.
So we're gonna see these new rivalries, new playing styles, maybe even like a whole new level of competition.
Ooh, I like that. Do you think we could see some big upsets in the next tournaments?
Definitely possible. And this new ranking system, it's still evolving, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting to see how it shapes the sport. You know, will it get more people playing?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, right? Or maybe it'll like push players to train differently, come up with new strategies.
Yeah, those we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this ranking system has definitely made things a lot more exciting.
I agree. It's more dynamic, unpredictable.
Keeps things interesting.
Exactly.
So for anyone out there who's really into Teqball, what should they be like watching for as the season goes on?
Keep your eye on the rising stars.
The ones making those big jumps.
Yeah. And watch how the top players adapt. You know, they're gonna have to adjust to these new challenges, this whole new landscape.
Makes sense. And of course, those new rivalries.
Yeah.
Got to watch out for those.
Right. It's gonna be good. But remember, the rankings, they're just the beginning. The real action happens on the Teqball tables. That's where the skill, the strategy, the real competition comes out.
Well said. Well, it's been awesome diving into the Teqball world with you. Honestly, I'm even more excited about Teqball now.
Me too.
It's a cool sport, and it's only getting bigger.
Yeah, Teqball's got a bright future, that's for sure. Lots of potential.
Totally. All right, well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll be back soon with another deep dive, but until then, keep your eyes on those Teqball tables and see what happens next in this awesome sport.